Welcome back once again, my dear students. Today we will talk about facilitated diffusion. First of all, we know that rate of diffusion depends on size of diffusing substances. So you can say that smaller substances they diffuse faster, while as larger substances they diffuse slower. Or you can say the rate of diffusion of smaller substances is fast as compared to larger substances. Diffusion of any substance across a membrane also depends on its solubility in the lipids of the membrane. We know that biological membranes are composed of lipids. So how much soluble a substance is in the lipids, it also determines its rate of diffusion. There are two types of substances. One type of substances, they include small molecules which are soluble in lipids and obviously they diffuse faster through the membranes. On the other hand, some large hydrophilic substances which are not that much soluble in the lipids of the plasma membrane, they find it difficult to pass through the membrane. Okay. So for these molecules to get transported, their transport needs to be facilitated. They cannot on their own transport through the plasma membrane, and for this purpose the membranes possess some membrane proteins which provide entry points at which such large hydrophilic molecules can cross the membrane. These special membrane proteins which help the substances move across the membrane without expenditure of energy, they are known as transmembrane proteins. Okay, so simply you can define facilitated diffusion as the diffusion of molecules or ions through the membranes with the help of transmembrane proteins. Okay, so transport of substances, transport of molecules, ions with the help of transmembrane proteins, this is known as facilitated diffusion. And you have to remember that facilitated diffusion is very specific. That means a specific transporter, a specific transmembrane protein transports a specific substance, a specific molecule, a specific ion. Okay, there are two types of transmembrane proteins. One is known as channel and another one is known as carrier. While as channels possess the pores, which extend, these are the pores, okay, which extend throughout the membrane, and through these pores the small ions and small molecules, they easily get diffused to the other side of the cell. On the other hand, in case of carrier mediated transport, here this is a carrier, there are no pores or channels. The carriers, they transport the substances by binding the substance on one side of the cell, and then they undergo a conformational change. They rotate by 180 degree and move to the other side of the cell, and after doing this conformational change they release the substance to the other side of the cell. Okay, so simply you can say that transport process, that diffusion in which the transmembrane proteins, which include channels and carriers, they assist the molecules and ions to get transported, to get diffused. That type of diffusion is known as facilitated diffusion. Here you can see in the image, this is the simple diffusion that we have discussed yesterday. Okay, it does not require any transmembrane protein, and this is facilitated diffusion, the movement of substances which includes ions and molecules with the help of transmembrane proteins. Okay, and transmembrane proteins are of two types. Channels, they possess the pores which extend throughout, and through these channels smaller ions and molecules can easily get diffused to the other side of the cell. However, in case of carriers, They do not possess the channel pores. Instead, they bind the substance on one side of the cell and undergo conformational change. They rotate by 180 degree and reach the other side of the cell and release this substance, release this molecule to the other side of the cell. Okay, this is all about facilitated diffusion. I hope you all understand this. See you soon with the next lesson. Till then, stay blessed and thank you.